Wikipedia says that ephedrine is a central nervous system stimulant that is often used to prevent low blood pressure during anesthesia. It has also been used for asthma, narcolepsy, and obesity, but is not the preferred treatment. It is of unclear benefit in nasal congestion. It can be taken by mouth or by injection into a muscle, vein, or just under the skin. Onset with intravenous use is fast, while injection into a muscle can take 20 minutes, and by mouth can take an hour for effect. When given by injection, it lasts about an hour, and when taken by mouth, it can last up to 4 hours. Ephedrine is currently listed as an illegal substance. In 2004, the Food and Drug Administration made ephedrine alkaloids illegal. While you may see some supplements that claim to still contain them, this is usually a completely different ingredient that provides a similar, but not nearly as powerful fat-burning effect. I just wanted to give a brief summary on what the drug was and its legality. These stories I'm going to read for you today aren't very long, but they pack a punch. Alright, without further ado, let's get this shit started. Until the weekend before last, I assumed that ephedrine was a relatively safe and harmless way to perk up without any unusual side effects. Then something happened, which most definitely changed my mind. During the course of an evening, I had consumed a fair amount of alcohol, 7 to 8 drinks over several hours, smoked a bowl of pot, and had taken 8 ephedrine tablets. Then I decided to drive from my home in Austin down to visit a friend in San Antonio. I really wasn't that drunk, and I wasn't still particularly stoned, so I assumed I'd be fine. I was wrong. One second, I'm leaving my house, and literally the next thing I know, it's 45 minutes later, and I'm driving off the road and colliding with a barbed wire fence. Conscious thought and memory hit me in one sudden, horrifying moment. Though I can clearly remember everything after that moment, which occurred as I slammed into the fence. There's about 45 minutes before that point, which I have absolutely no recollection of. Somehow, I ended up on a country road in the middle of nowhere, where I most definitely should not have been. I was on the wrong road, and I had no idea why I would be on it. There's one route I like to take to San Antonio, and that wasn't it. I can't really say it was a blackout though, because I was conscious the entire time, and driving no less. I know it was the ephedrine which caused me to black out the 45 minutes between the time that I left my house and when I had the wreck, since I've never had an experience like that on pot or alcohol alone. Has anyone else had a similar experience? Can anyone explain why this occurred? The scary part is that I know I completely lost control of my senses. I was driving down a road which there was no reason for me to be on, and I can't figure out why. Fortunately, the road was empty, since it was the middle of the night, and I hit a fence instead of slamming head-on into a tree or another car. I am sick. My hands are numb and swollen this time. I have intermittent piercing cramps in my stomach. It is so hot I want to rip off my shirt, so I do. It is freezing. My body twitches with the sudden abrupt spell of the shivers. I am in agony. I start digging through the garbage to find the package of ephedrine I threw out yesterday. I was going to stop, and I felt a false sense of security that I would never need them again. However, I was euphoric from the 40 pills I had just taken an hour before. 35 pills of ephedrine, and 4 20-milligram pills of baclofen, a muscle relaxer. The baclofen took away the edge of the ephedrine, so all I felt was the euphoria and the energy, but without the jitteriness and agitation. The Valium allowed me to sleep despite the insomnia ephedrine usually causes. After waking the next day, I was so tired and dead, I felt like a useless piece of nothing. Eating was out of the question because the very thought of it made me throw up. The solution? Take the pills, drink the coffee, and start all over again. I couldn't stand even one day of feeling dead. I am a mom and a wife, and my family needs me. My son is waiting for me to bake cookies, make blanket forts, and take him swimming. My husband is wanting me to kiss him tenderly on the lips and tell him I love him. Making breakfast is out of the question unless I can find the damn package I threw away. God help me. I am digging through a garbage filled with cat litter and remnants of spoiled food I had thrown out when I cleaned the fridge the day before. I found them. I tasted the familiar bitterness on my tongue and felt like I was on top of it all again. Cleaning, caring for my son, cooking, doing bills all at the same time. But after about a week of pill popping, I started to get sick, and I need to start the withdrawal process for about 4 days so I can get the same effect I wanted from it in the first place. During those days, I prayed and promised God I will never do it again. Just take away the pain. My husband thinks I have the flu yet again. My son calls me crabby, and I feel like I want to slit my throat. You tell me, how does it feel to be normal to exist without a drug-induced self? I watch the news and wonder how the anchorman can smile sober. I see my neighbors cutting the lawn, and I am jealous of their natural energy. I can't remember what it was like to be a person without supplements. Tell me, how does it feel to be free? To be happy without ephedrine, which was supposed to be a harmless over-the-counter drug? I could die. Every day I overdose, and every tomorrow brings me closer to my death. I blame myself first, but the FDA deserves a personal thank you from me for helping me to fuck myself. 4 pills to start, and 4 years later, 2 boxes a day, and an artificial happiness to last a lifetime. After the physical pain leaves, I am still exhausted. I am fuzzy-headed, I can't concentrate, I feel sad, crying over everything. I get overwhelmed and nostalgic for that supermom feeling, and I want to be that person with a contagious smile. So I cave. I go to the nearest marathon and start the process all over again. Well, at least we now know the FDA made that shit illegal after that story came out, so that's a good thing. Hopefully that woman is doing better and she doesn't have to deal with this shit anymore. I know there are ways you could still get it, but not here in the US. I know that for a fact. Everything I'm hearing so far, I mean, it doesn't sound like a fun drug. It probably sounds fun in moderation, but that's all you should be doing. If you're addicted like this person was, no, it's a terrible drug to be addicted to. Not saying that any drug is good to be addicted to, but this one just doesn't sound like a good time. If you're enjoying these stories so far, please smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comment section below which drug you want me to do next. Alright, let's move on to these last few stories. I got some diet pills in the States that contained ephedrine a while back. I had taken them every once in a while to get me going, and I've had no problem. I have also had nothing really bad with drinking. The odd puking, but nothing serious. Anyways, I guess I've been pretty stressed in the weeks before my experience, which might have had an impact. I got to my friend's house where everyone was going to be drinking. I was working the next day and was extremely tired. I originally decided not to drink, but started to feel semi-depressed and felt like I was being a downer for everyone. So out of nowhere, I decided to have fun. So I downed 2 of my diet pills with some 43% dry gin. From then on, I keep the drinks coming. At this point, I would say I was having a good time. I was really hyper and really drunk. I ran outside for no reason and did dumb stuff. When I come back, I drink some more. Now I start to calm down, but I'm never tired. In the basement, my best friend was with his girlfriend, and my other friend was with this girl and a girl I was interested in. She was totally ignoring me. At this point, I became extremely depressed, the most depressed I have ever been. I go upstairs and write fucked up shit in a journal. Then I proceed to start lightly cutting myself on the arm with a knife. I felt so bad. Then I go back downstairs to try to cheer up. There, no one talks to me or even acknowledges my presence. In my head, I was sure they hated me, that they were all against me somehow. Now I start to really freak. In my head, it's an avalanche of bad thoughts and depressing things. Then I decide to down another drink, pick up my things, and go. I was supposed to sleep over, but left without telling anybody. On the way home, I started sobbing and sat in the middle of the road. Then I got up and started to try to walk home. I think I started blacking out. I have many jumps of memory and consciousness. I went down many wrong roads, but eventually got home. Inside, I barely remember anything, but I remember listening to music and wanting to kill myself. Then the next I remember is being on the bathroom floor in the dark. There I try to sleep because I was working the next morning. However, I think the ephedrine is still working, and I have insomnia, and I was sweating, I think. I finally got like 45 minutes of sleep, but my mom woke me up. When I got woken up, I noticed that my hand was covered in blood, and my knuckles were all ripped. I have no idea how they got there. As for my arm, I didn't draw blood with the knife. It was bluntish, but I did have marks. Anyways, I just want to say this was the worst experience of my life. I felt so depressed and I cried so much. I hurt myself and scared my friends. I really tripped out. I never want this to happen again. I'm not sure if it was the ephedrine or the alcohol, but all I know is that I'm never mixing the two again. I will also try to drink in better mental states as well. I wouldn't wish these feelings and experiences on my worst enemy. So I have to say, I had a prescription for pseudoephedrine a while back, and had experimented with large pseudoephedrine doses. And later, I had a bottle of generic Robo, and by mistake, I bought a bottle with pseudo. Anyway, my point is, I'm pretty experienced with pseudoephedrine, and I have been thinking about taking some ephedrine just to fuck around. You know how it goes. Anyways, while coming back from a camping trip, I am in some little seedy truck stop buying coffee. Right when I'm about to pay for my coffee, I set my hand down on a bottle, which just happens to be Yellow Jackets, OTC ephedrine. So, I grab it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I might as well. So anyway, I get back in the car, and I'm telling my friends how I got some ephedrine, and would they want some. Everyone, excluding the driver, who was himself coming down from a DXM trip, pipes up with how they like to pop some. So, not knowing the dosage, I look on the back of the bottle. Now I know that they don't usually give the dosage for how many you should take to get high. Anyway, the back says to take no more than 4 in a 24-hour period. So I figure there's the dose, and I hand out 4 to each of my friends. I'm about to take 4 when the driver says, fuck it, just take 5. So like the jackass I am, I pop 5. We took them at approximately 2 p.m., and by 3, I decided to go for the gusto and pop 2 more. By about 3:30, the other people in the car keep rattling on about how high they are, and I don't feel anything. In the morning, we had smoked a few bowls loaded up with opium, and I really wasn't feeling much. I was kinda upset at the drug not working, and after waiting maybe an additional 30 minutes, I decided to pop 2 more. By 4, everyone is freaking out about how energetic they feel, and I still don't feel much, besides kind of feeling like flexing my hand. As soon as we pull into town, I get these kind of odd visuals. Things sort of took a second to look right. Like when I would turn my head from side to side, things would take a second to catch up, I guess. Basically, I felt like I was 45 minutes into a DXM trip. When we pull into my friend's driveway, the girl next to me vomits into a bag, and I try hard not to vomit as well. We spent the next 2 hours lying around trying not to throw up. I felt a lot better, and then just felt terrible vomit coming up and hurled into the bushes. I felt a lot better, so I called up my girlfriend and she picked me up. Now it's like 30 minutes later. We'd only been in the car for about 5 minutes when I tell her what I took earlier, and then tell her that I don't think I can make the car ride. She pulls to the side of the road, and I spew up some stomach acid the color of my breakfast. She's really upset by this, and I tell her to just drive the last mile to her house quick. To make this long story short, I threw up pretty much once every 2 hours until 11, when I threw up once an hour. The rest of the night was spent sweating and trying not to vomit as I lie next to my sleeping girlfriend. To be complete, I will describe the feeling of the high. Basically, it was like watching the person next to you get hit by a comet. Afterwards, you are so shocked to be alive, your heart races, and you are really alert. You basically don't feel anything, and that's the high, I guess. No fatigue or tiredness. Basically, you are always aware of the nausea that grows in your stomach. It never goes away, only getting worse until you vomit. After vomiting, you probably have 15 minutes free of nausea. Special note for the ignorant, don't take this. It's not fun. So this guy took 9 ephedrine tablets and blamed his problems on the drug? What the fuck? Dude, you're the problem. Maybe you shouldn't have taken 9 ephedrine tablets. Like, that's a little bit too much there, buddy boy. Maybe if you took 4, that's still a lot, but hey, that'd be a lot better than 9. You had to take 5 more to reach that level. Like, that's fucked up. That shit's crazy. Never take a big dose. I've learned that from experience and what from people have told me. Just remember, you can always take more, but you can never take less. That's the best advice you can ever give to someone who's planning on taking drugs, especially psychedelics, because you never know how psychedelics will react with your body. Just take it slow, and if you're not feeling anything, pop another one, or drop another one, or whatever psychedelic you're doing, eat another one, lick another one, fuck another one. I don't know what I'm talking about. That pussy is psychedelic. I don't know. All right. You know what? I might read one more story. These were really short, like I said. I try to make my videos at least 20 minutes when I do the multiple story videos, but sometimes that can't happen. But hey, I'm just rambling on right now, so we'll see. I had recently started taking the diet pill Zenadrin to keep my energy up and make my metabolism faster. I had 2 pills in the morning, around 5 a.m. before going to work. Later that night, a few of my friends and I went to a club where I consumed 4 drinks in a matter of 2 hours. I was feeling quite drunk off of those 4 drinks, and I could hold my liquor quite well. As the night wore on, I began to feel sick, so we all left. As soon as I got in the car and it began moving, I felt like I was going to puke, and that's where it all started. I began throwing up violently in my friend's car and all over them. I had never felt so horrible in my entire life. I threw up the entire way home, 50 minutes, and continued to vomit when I got home. My boyfriend had to carry me inside because I couldn't stand. I eventually fell asleep for about 5 hours and awoke the next morning to more vomiting. I was puking up stomach acid because there was nothing left in my stomach. In the bathroom, I blacked out and fell on the ground and started having a seizure. I could feel myself shaking violently, but my vision was completely black. The seizure stopped seconds later, and I was scared as hell. I went to GNC where I bought the pills and told the sales guy the situation. What? You should never drink when you take those pills. Good story. Nowhere on the bottle or on Zenadrin's website did it say anything about not drinking. I attempted to have a shot of vodka in my Slurpee when I had taken a pill in the morning and ended up in a supermarket bathroom curled up in a ball. I was sweating, blacking out, and sick to my stomach. I ended up feeling better in about a half an hour, but was sketched out. The seizure was the scariest part of all of this for me. So, just be careful if you're on Zenadrin and you're planning on drinking. Please, 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 don't mix pills with alcohol. It doesn't end up good. It may be good one time, but you never know what's going to happen the next time. Especially with a stimulant, come on, that's not a good reaction there. Just don't do it. You need to learn from your mistakes, buddy boy. Alright, I'm going crazy right now. I've had a very bad week, and I think I'm slowly losing it, but hey, it's my day off today, so a little relaxation, even though I gotta work on this video, but I guess I don't really ever have a day off, but it's sort of a day off, I can edit on my couch and be comfortable, but that's still work. I still gotta edit this for like 4 hours, so that's no fun, but whatever. Hey, just hit that like button, please. It really helps out a lot. If I get a lot of subscribers, and get more views, more and more views, then maybe I won't have to work all the time, get a little break, but, I'm dedicated to this, and I want to keep on giving you content so you can enjoy it for the rest of your life, so. That's about it. That was Ephedrine, and that was brought to you by my mental state. Alright, see you later, and I don't know what we're gonna do next, so I have a good idea, but I'm not gonna give it out yet in case someone steals it, so I'm not gonna say it, but I have a good idea. Alright. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you. Follow me on Instagram, too. You could DM me on there. I've been slow to getting the messages, but I'll get to them at some point. Alright. Have a good one. Bye. Bless you.